everybody, Zaxtor99 back for another First Impressions review of another brand new indie game that just came out last night, a game called Polar Jump. Now, this is a game made by an indie developer with the name Yasu Flores, and if we look here, we click on his name, we see that it is his first title on Steam. So I want to go ahead and say to Mr. Flores, congratulations on launching your first game on Steam. However, after giving this game just a few minutes of playtime, last night when it launched, I gotta say, I am not impressed. Even though the game is only $2.99 and looks to have nice, fun 3D platformer graphics and gameplay, this game, many of you might already know if you've ever played Steam games or even looked on Steam, is a 100% attempt to leech off the success of another very successful game just like this. And if we look, guys, at Polar Jump, we see that Polar Jump is a 100% attempt to leech off the success of a game called Refunct. Now, I haven't ever played Refunct, but I know this is a very popular, very beloved game on Steam. The red buttons are the same. The platforms are the same. When you hit these red buttons, new platforms arise. This game, Polar Jump, is a game that just doesn't do enough itself to set itself apart from the very overwhelmingly positive reviewed Refunct. Refunct has made a ton of money, is very successful on Steam, and our little game, Polar Jump, here is a cheap imitation. So let me ask you guys real quick, before we go ahead and take a break and start the gameplay, let me just ask you guys real quick. Let's just say you love Kraft sliced cheese. Let's say Kraft sliced American cheese. You love the flavor. You love making grilled cheese sandwiches with Kraft sliced cheese. And you go to your supermarket and you see right next to that Kraft sliced cheese, you see the store knockoff brand of the Kraft sliced cheese. And you know you've had this knockoff brand sliced cheese before. And you know that it tastes like freaking ass. You know that imitation sliced cheese, compared to Kraft, tastes like garbage. It tastes like it's water-filled. It doesn't have the flavor. It just doesn't taste nearly as good. Doesn't have the same texture. It's just ew. Now, if you go into the supermarket and you see the Kraft cheese at, let's say, $4.99 for a package, and you see the same size portion of the imitation garbage sliced cheese priced at exactly the same price, $4.99, which one are you going to buy? Here, we have a very cheap 100% attempt to leech off the success of a superior game on Steam in Refunct. We see that Refunct is $2.99 with overwhelmingly positive reviews, over 13,000 reviews. And we come back and look at our newly launched Polar Jump. We see that it's a very cheap imitation of Refunct. We can tell that from the trailer. You'll see it even more so when I show you the demonstration or demonstrate the gameplay here in just a moment. But we see Polar Jump is also priced at the same price, $2.99. It does have 2 user reviews so far. However, when I look at these user reviews, I see this guy has 1 review. This guy has a total of 3 reviews over his Steam account, and another 1 review key redemption review. None of these reviews mean anything because they're all probably friends of the developer. So I don't trust any of these reviews, and I'll show you why I think these reviews are complete BS when we get into the gameplay of Polar Jump, and we'll do that right after this. Alright, welcome back, guys. No surprise, this game does launch from the Unity default launcher. And when we come in, guys, we see that we have a game. Well, I started that. Let's go ahead and go to a new game. Here we go. I want to show you guys this game from its epic start. We have some music, we have snowflakes falling, probably an easy weather effect that you can buy on the Unity Asset Store. And we have a Unity asset for a fireplace down there and a Unity asset for a red button. And blocks are extremely easy to make in the, the Unity engine. We also have the ability to throw snowballs, and we get a snowball sphere, another thing that's very easy to make within Unity. So nothing really impressive technical here. And one thing I would like to go ahead and say is, we do have a very ugly kind of a 4-leaf clover texture here. This is probably a free texture, I'm sure, that fills over these cubes once you hit the red button, which lights these fireplaces, and then we have more cubes come up. And my biggest problem with this game right now, guys, is the laziness by the developer. Very, very lazy attempt to copy the success of Refunct, because the developer, for all the time he might have spent designing these levels, which I really don't think he spent a lot of time doing it, he has these cubes pop up, but they're randomly placed. They really don't have any kind of set, idea or theme. It doesn't look near as good as the much more successful Refunct. And when we come over here, guys, and we jump on these platforms, the jumping is the biggest problem I have an issue with. The jumping does not feel satisfying at all. As you saw there, I was hitting the edge and then glitching over the top of the edge. When I jump, there's just no satisfaction. The feeling of jumping is not satisfying at all. You get no air. Maybe it's the fact that when you land, there is no impact. I don't know what it is, but the developer got really lazy when it came to the basic mechanics of this game. The jumping, which is something you want to feel good and solid, the jumping feels like complete ass. And this game developer launched the game knowing full well that his jumping mechanics feel like shit. So I am not trying to tear this developer down. I want to be realistic. I want to give the developer feedback that hopefully, he can use to make this game better. So please, if you're the developer of this game, if you're Mr. Flores and you're watching my video, and I hope you are, please don't take this to heart. I don't want to knock you down. But what I do want to do is I want to help you make this game better. And the way you need to make this game better, because right now it gets my not recommend. For A, because you haven't done enough to your game to set it apart from the game you're trying to copy. And don't even begin to tell me you've never heard of Refunct. Don't even begin to tell me you've never played Refunct. This is a 100% attempt to leech off the success of Refunct. You and I both know it, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Not for trying to take that idea. If you want to take his idea, if you want to take Refunct's idea, fine. But make the game your own. And your game doesn't do enough to set it apart from Refunct. Refunct right now is and looks superior in every way, even though I've never played it. All I've played is your clone here, and I can tell you without a doubt, Refunct is at least 10 times better. I can tell that just by watching the gameplay trailers for both games. Your game is the same price as Refunct, and you know your game's not even 1/10 as good. You know that, I know that. But the biggest problem here is you launch a game with the jumping mechanics feeling like complete ass. You know that, I know that. These mechanics for jumping feel like trash. You know it, I know it. So shame on you for launching a game where the basic mechanic of the game feels like garbage. Fix this mechanic. Fix this jumping mechanic. Make it feel good. Make it fun. This jumping mechanic is not fun. It feels like trash. It makes the game not fun to play. Secondly, take this game and make it special. Make it unique. You can have the same kind of mechanics. You can have it so you're hitting buttons which launch these fire pits and raise up more platforms. That's fine. But make the game different from Refunct in some way. What you've done here is you're just setting up random platforms which really have no meaning or reason or design. They don't look cool as it is. It's just randomly placed platforms all over the place wherever you can find an opening. This is lazy. This is, again, just a very lazy attempt to suck off Refunct's success. Make this game fun. First of all, fix your jumping mechanics. Make the jumping mechanics feel good. Secondly, set your game apart. And I'll give you some random ideas. I don't care what you do, but make your game different from Refunct in some way. You know, go buy a fucking pig asset on the Unity store and make a pig chase you around. I don't care. And maybe make it so that if if you can lure the pig into a fireplace, it turns into bacon that you can eat. I don't know. I'm just giving you ideas. Make it so a little, devil with a pitchfork is chasing you around. Maybe you don't want something chasing you around. Maybe you want it to leave it as a basic platformer and you don't want to have that kind of, action in your game. See what I'm talking about? That jump mechanic. It just feels like ass, man. But, do something different. Make it so that those blocks, those special boxes that you collect in your game is copied directly from Refunct. I saw that in the Refunct trailer. Maybe you want to add mirrors or portals. Maybe take Portal and what Portal did so well and mix the portals from Portal into your game to make your game kind of a cross between Portal and Refunct. But all you've got here is a very lazy, very cheap attempt to copy one game, Refunct. That's it. And your game is nowhere as good, and your game is the same price. What would you buy, Mr. Developer? Would you buy that really shitty tasting imitation cheese for the same price? Or would you buy the quality, good tasting cheese that you love if they were both the same price? Let me ask you that question. Let me ask you another question, Mr. Developer. What game do you have more fun playing? Your game or Refunct? Be honest with yourself, Mr. Developer. Which game do you have more fun playing? Your shitty imitation or Refunct? And then ask yourself why the fuck you charged the same price for your game as Refunct, costs. But I'm not asking you to lower the price of your game to 99 cents. I'm simply asking you to make your game better and make your game unique. There's you some constructive feedback for you, Mr. Developer. I hope this has helped you. And to all my other viewers, if you're not the developer of this game, stay far away from this game until this developer puts out some updates, until this developer learns that it's not cool just to make a cheap imitation, lazy clone of a successful game on Steam and try to sell it as your own. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This has been Zaxtorian. Take care.